Hello, I'm Callum Dilietto, and this is the Flock Together podcast in partnership with Destination St John's. And we're here today at the Shangri-La The Shard, London, and I'm joined by Becky.
Hello.
Hello. Before we even start, your mum loves this podcast.
Number one fan, honestly.
I love that.
She will be honoured she's had a shout out.
So this is a shout out specifically for you. And she's been saying to you that you should be on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we've tried to make it work a few times. We finally managed to make it work.
Yeah.
She's going to be over the moon.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm over the moon.
Did you practice with her?
We ran through some questions, yeah. She had to be involved somehow, you know?
Good. Well, this is an ode to her, if anything.
Yeah.
So the first question is, it's all about remembering. So what was your first ever work trip?
I'll be honest, I don't actually remember my first ever work trip. I was on my placement year at Ashfield, so in the pharmaceutical industry. I was fully thrown in at the deep end, so I did a lot of travelling, worked on a lot of events. But one event that kind of sits in my mind was did a conference at the Rome Marriott Park Hotel for 1,000 delegates. So I did the delegate management, the flight management, and it was probably the most stressful experience of my life. But call me crazy, I was like, this is the industry for me. Like, it just solidified it for me.
That sort of baptism of fire.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah.
And it was Rome, did you say?
Yeah.
I've never actually been to Rome. As an Italian, that's quite bad.
It's great. But we did it where we had a great DMC, so he took us down the alleys, like the restaurants that are still family run. We didn't do any of the kind of main bit, and it was just amazing. It's great.
But the vision I have of Rome is chaos.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Especially if it's early in your career. A chaotic combo.
Yeah. But it solidified that this was the industry for me.
And what was your last work trip?
So the last event that I ran was back in September. I was in Munich for 2 weeks, ran an event for around 750 people for an automotive brand, which was, again, very stressful but very rewarding. And my last work trip was last week. We had a team strategy day at Stockwell House, so very different pace.
Nice, though.
Very nice, great spa.
I actually went to university not far from Stockwell House. So St Albans, Hertfordshire, that kind of area is
it's very beautiful. Yeah.
That's why I went there. I went on a visit. I was going to say a site visit then, like an open day for the university. And this is going to sound ridiculous, but I saw bunny rabbits running across the path, and I was like, "This is the campus for me." Didn't turn out to be like that for the rest of my uni times, but yeah, Hertfordshire is a special place.
Yeah, it's nice.
The next part of the podcast is revisit. So if you could go back in time and relive a destination experience, where would it be?
So I had quite a couple for this, but I think it would be Sugar Beach in St Lucia. It is the most incredible hotel. And I was only there for a day, so I just feel like I didn't even scratch the surface. I felt like you arrive by speedboat. It feels very James Bond, very luxury, but you kind of step into the hotel, and for me personally, I just immediately slowed down. And yeah, I just need to go back. It was so beautiful.
We were there together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know how beautiful it is.
I do know how beautiful it was. And it was a shame we didn't get to spend more time there.
Yeah.
But that was where, because they gave us access to one of the villas with its own pool.
Yeah.
Looking out over St Lucia.
Yeah.
And there was a time, I think you guys were all at the beach, and I was in the villa. I think I was by myself for some reason, or there was like 2 other people, but they were in like completely different parts. So I was literally on my own in the pool, no phone or anything, and this little hummingbird just buzzed by me, and it was the most like I almost like wanted to cry. I was like, this is the most like spiritual moment ever. It was just there buzzing around. I couldn't take a picture or anything. I was just like fully immersed in this little hummingbird, and then it just like went away, and I was like, it just felt like this magical moment. But that whole resort and everything about it was like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And it was good people as well.
It was a great trip. There was great people on that trip.
And if you could make any hotel a home, what would it be?
I think this is probably the hardest question. But I think for me, it is Grantley Hall. I'm a Yorkshire girl, so it's only fitting that I pick a property in Yorkshire. Yorkshire is home to me. Grantley Hall is still a family-run property, and a lot of the staff there have worked there from the beginning, so they know all the history. But it's a property that manages to be incredibly polished without ever feeling intimidating. It has such a warmth, and the beds are next level. So that was a contributing factor.
The beds,
yeah,
next level.
Honestly, great.
In all the years I've known you, you've talked about Grantley Hall so many times, and I've never been.
I think I'm a bit obsessed.
You are obsessed, so I shouldn't be surprised if that's your answer, to be fair.
I think what makes Canada different from other incentive destinations is simply how vast and diverse Canada is. I love the accessibility, cultural diversity, and the ability to create a truly authentic experience. If people want a city vibe, Canada can provide that. If you have adventurers, there is absolutely something here.
My most memorable moment was definitely the kayaking experience. The elements and the conditions were something that I have never experienced anywhere in the world. It was magnificent.
We had this amazing immersive cultural experience. We were looking for mushrooms and for herbs and talking about sustainability. We were listening to music, hearing stories of fishing. It was undescribable how awesome that was.
The next part of the podcast is Reimagine. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity for you to create an incentive trip for yourself. Where would you go? What would you do? And which celebrity would you bring with you?
This is quite easy for me, but it would be South Africa. I think I must be the only event professional that has not been to South Africa. But I would kind of do like a twin kind of trip. So I want nature and city. So luxury safari. I love giraffes, so I want to see them in their natural habitat. And then I want to do Cape Town. I want to do helicopter over Table Mountain. I want to go to the vineyards, stay at the Mount Nelson. Yeah, that would be where I'd go. Easy.
I just love I love giraffes.
They're great.
Love giraffes.
Yeah, I need to see them fight.
What?
Have you seen that?
Because their necks sort of swing around chaotically, don't they? For someone who loves giraffes to be like, I want to see them fight. It's so aggressive.
It's just so bizarre. I need to see it.
And which celebrity?
So this is a bit rogue, but I would take a lady called Roxie Nafousi. She is a non-fiction author. She writes a lot about manifestation and knowing your self-worth. And I just find her very inspiring. And I'd just love to just sit and talk to her about mindset and visualization. And I quite like that kind of stuff. So I would take her.
I think being in Africa and having a mindset
feels very grounding.
Yeah. And like the stars and just, I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
The penultimate part of the podcast is reform. Mm-hmm. So if you could write a letter to the industry, what would your letter be?
This one's tricky, but I think I would talk about people. I think as an industry, it's very easy to attract young talent into the industry, but I think we need to focus on nurturing that talent, because if we don't support them, then we're not going to be able to keep them, and ultimately they're the next leaders of the events industry. I think as a millennial myself, it's kind of on us to understand that Gen Z work and learn differently, and that's not a bad thing. I think we can learn as much from them as they can from us, but I think in agencies or in companies that there needs to be like a robust training plan, inductions. I think they need a mentor. I think the industry is so intense that they need that support in order to kind of nurture them and grow them throughout the industry. Not everyone works well being thrown in at the deep end.
Yeah, it is an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think every generation has its differences and everyone, learns and works differently. But the differences between millennials and Gen Z seems to be a little bit more exasperated potentially because in that there was a global pandemic. There was,
Yeah.
you know, there was lots of really big global things that have impacted a lot of our psychology in a way, and the ways we work and things. You know, there's a lot of people that their first jobs would be remote or during COVID or post-COVID. So whereas millennials are used to being in the office 5 days a week, they were used to doing too many hours, they're used to being a bit more overworked.
Yeah.
And so it is interesting, and I do think, yeah, the boomers, the Gen X, the Gen Y, all need to adapt to be more encompassing of that generation.
Yeah, I think Gen Z get a bad rep sometimes. And like I said, we can learn as much from them as they can from us.
I like that. I think you're right, Gen Z do get a bad rep. And I've been on many a panel where it has been the whole, like, managing Gen Z, and some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. But I think, yeah, it is about, okay, well, what are the differences, and then how do we tailor to those differences?
Yeah, it's just managing their expectations as well. It's a very glamorous industry on the surface, like Instagram versus reality kind of thing. So managing their expectations from the offset and then creating that kind of training program for them.
The final part of the podcast is a quick fire round. So I'm going to just ask you some real quick questions.
Okay.
Packing, last minute or week before?
Last minute.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be a bit more...
I wish that I was organised, and I try and think, right, okay, 3 weeks ahead, like, let's plan my outfits, let's get sorted, and it's always the night before or the morning of. I am that last minute.
Carry on or check-in?
Check-in, serial overpacker.
Because you're last minute.
Yeah.
Airport lounge or shopping?
Shopping. Everyone says lounge, and I'm like, no, I need my perfume, you know, I just need to stock up.
Stock up on the duty-free discounts?
Yeah.
Aisle or window?
Depends. I'll pick aisle. I like to get up, move around.
Fair. City or nature?
Nature.
So you can see the giraffes fight.
Yeah. Probably should remove that on the podcast.
Lay-in or early start?
Early start.
Poolside or seaside?
Seaside.
I was going to say Sugar Beach, right?
Yeah.
I was in the pool, you by the sea, so you made that decision. Planned or spontaneous?
It's got to be planned. I'd love to be spontaneous, but in this industry, plan.
Breakfast, hot or cold?
Hot.
That's the Yorkshire lass in you there.
Yeah.
With a Yorkshire tea. No? You don't drink tea?
Coffee. No, I would drink tea, but I prefer coffee.
Okay, fair. And hotel, room service or restaurant?
Restaurant. 100%.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and I hope your mum enjoys this episode as much as I did.
Thank you for having me.